change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Most people see self-compassion as my identity is going to be compassionate with the rest of my brain or my body. Tim is going to be compassionate with his primitive brain. And that's how I started in the practice of self-compassion. But what I realize now is that my identity is the problem. The Tim that sets goals that are not in alignment with the rest of his brain and with his body, that's what gets me into trouble. That's what causes pain. That's what causes suffering. That's what causes frustration. When I am not gentle with the rest of my brain. So now I use a different part of my brain. We have many parts of the brain, remember. This is the same part of the brain that we use when we engage in mindfulness practice. Mindfulness is about observing yourself. Observing yourself. Observing your body. Observing your identity. Listening to what your identity is saying. Listening to what your identity wants. Listening to its frustrations. Listening to its anger. Listening to its needs. And being compassionate with that. And realizing that my identity, the part of me that has goals, the part of me that wants to do things, it's no better or different than the other parts of me. And that if I can take the mindfulness part of me, and it can be compassionate with my identity and my primitive drivers at the same time, and see them as equal, then I can pretty much go through anything and not be bothered by it. It might take me a second. It might take me a few minutes. It might even take me an hour if it's really challenging. But no matter what shows up in my life now, I can be gentle with it. I can be compassionate with it. I simply realize, oh, I'm under stress. Tim is under stress. Tim is experiencing craving. I've got this feeling in me. I just don't feel okay right now. I don't feel grounded. I feel scattered. I feel scattered here at the festival. Because I've got so many people I want to talk to and that want to talk to me. And I've got so many events that I'm leading and I'm bouncing all over the place. And when is the food? And where is the food? And oh, somebody wants to buy a t-shirt. And oh, what? And I could freak out. I could panic and I could just fall apart. Or I could say, okay, you're scattered. It's okay to be scattered. It's okay not to feel okay. And I don't need to identify with being scattered. I don't need to identify with a craving. I don't need to identify with my suffering or my pain. I can simply watch it and give it gentleness. And this is something I do as an athlete. And it's something when I coach people on diet, this is the main component, is that be gentle with who you are right now and what you're experiencing right now, and don't wish it were different. Because if you're wishing it were different, you're not being compassionate with what you're feeling right now, who you're being right now. You want it to go away. You don't like it. And if you don't like it, that creates a threat response. If you don't like yourself, you don't like your body, you don't like your choices, you don't like your relationship, you don't like your job, you don't like where you live, that's a threat response in the brain. So what happens when we go into a threat response? We crave things. We engage in coping mechanisms. We try to quiet ourselves. And it's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. Anybody ever tried to hold a beach ball underwater? Is it easy to do? Does it want to move to one side or the other and you're trying to hold it down? It's going to pop up somewhere, right? Like maybe we can hold the beach ball down for an entire week at the Woodstock Fruit Festival. It's like, look at me. I'm raw vegan. I'm raw vegan. It's going to pop up somewhere. Can't do it. Willpower doesn't work, and you don't need it. Discipline doesn't work, and you don't need it. You just need to be gentle and compassionate to the parts of you that are struggling, to the parts of you that want something.